Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
This morning a journalist called Pence racist, so he turned and did something awesome. After all three broadcast networks spent Sunday attacking Trump for the violence in Charlottesville, Mike Pence stepped in and set the record straight. The interview was aired on NBC News and Mike Pence went on the attack. He scolded the press for their continuous criticism of our president. I will tell you that I take issue with the fact that many in the media are spending more time criticizing how the president addressed the issue yesterday. Many in the media have spent an awful lot of time focusing on what the president said and criticisms of what the president said, instead of criticizing those who brought that hatred and violence to the streets of Charlottesville, Virginia. That's about as real as you can make it. Share this if you think that president did an amazing job managing the another violent crisis in a democratic city. Thanks for reading. There is evil afoot and we need to keep fighting to stop it from consuming our great country. Leftist sick new attack on Melania goes after the one thing no one expected. Do you ever just get tired of leftists being mean? This one really takes the cake though, folks, so I hope y'all are sitting down. Newsweek published a piece last week mocking out First Lady Melania Trump and First Daughter Ivanka Trump. Why? For wearing high heels. Yep. According to Newsweek author Nina Burla in her creepily titled article Melania, Ivanka, and Ivana Trump wear high heels, a symbol of everything that is beautiful and horrifying about them. When the Trump women wear this common shoe style, they are being horrifying. A bit dramatic, wouldn't you say? Nothing is too dramatic or hysterical for the left, though. Here's a bit of what she wrote. This one's a doozy. Stiletto pumps are the ultimate test of a certain type of femininity. They signal the taut combination of power and weakness that conservative women must cultivate in order to survive among ideologues who are crafting our tax-free Handmaid's Tale future. Literally, I have no idea how these leftists even come up with these new things to complain about and pick apart. They have way too much time on their hands. Newsweek wasn't the only one to take shots at the First Lady, however. Forbes put out an article saying Melania is fashionable but could never be a fashion icon like Michelle Obama, saying, Trump is gorgeous like an actress at the Oscars, with a dash of Real Housewife thrown in. She's polished, but she's not inspiring. Our flots seems pretty in spring to me. Melania is a former model and a huge fan of fashion and she looks great. Let's face it, no matter what the Trump women do, the left will complain. They can't even wear heels without them complaining. So much for being pro-women. Do you think Melania is a fashionable first lady? Share this out to show Melania we have her back. HT Fox News, Forbes. Scare Mus I just told Trump exactly who the leaker is. And they're hiding in plain sight. Former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci got on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert Monday night and claimed senior strategist Stephen Bannon is a White House leaker. The mooch worked at the White House for approximately 9 days before being ousted after he was caught giving an expletive-filled rant in which he accused Chief of Staff Reince Priebus of leaking. Priebus was replaced by General John Kelly shortly after. With Priebus gone, Colbert asked who else could be leaking from the White House, saying, "Is it Steve Bannon?" Scaramucci replied, "Well, I've said that. Listen, I've been pretty open about that." Colbert asked again, "Is Steve Bannon a leaker?" Scaramucci again replied, "I said he was. I obviously got caught on tape saying he was, so I have no problem saying that." The mooch continued, saying that he would fire Bannon if it were up to me. These revelations are huge. Scaramucci is known for his blunt honesty. While he was working in the White House he said, What I don't like about Washington is people do not let you know how they feel. They're very nice to your face, and then they take a shiv or machete and they stab it in your back. I don't like it. I'm a Wall Street guy, and I'm more of a front stabbing person. Looks like Bannon just got front stabbed by the mooch as he doubles down on his leaking accusations. President Trump's reaction will be one to watch. Axios reported earlier that the president suspects Bannon is behind the recent leaks about National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. Bannon's time at the White House could very well be numbered. Do you think Bannon is a leaker? Give your comments below. H.T. The Hill. McCain praises Senator Jeff Flake as a hero after speech insulting President Trump. Arizona Senator Jeff Flake announced that he would not run for Senate in 2018 and then went on a long rant against President Trump. After his anti-Trump speech, Senator John McCain had huge praise for him. Mr. President, I rise to say enough. I rise today with no small measure of regret. Regret, because of the state of our disunion. Regret because of the disrepair and destructiveness of our politics, regret because of the indecency of our discourse, said Flake. Regret because of the coarseness of our leadership, regret for the compromise of our moral authority, and by all of our, complicity in this alarming and dangerous state of affairs. It is time for our complicity and our accommodation of the unacceptable to end, he continued. Everyone has been insulting President Trump. But according to John McCain, this was a brave move. It's very hard for me to add to the eloquence of my dear friend from Arizona, said McCain. But I do want to say that it has been one of the great honors of my life to serve with a man of integrity, honor, decency and commitment to not only Arizona but to the United States of America. I have seen Jeff Flake stand up for what he believes in, knowing full well there would be a political price to pay, said McCain. CNN's Tapper compares President Trump and Joseph McCarthy. There is something similar. CNN has compared President Trump to all kinds of horrible things. Hitler, Kim Jong-un, ISIS, the KKK, 9/11 and more. However, this time Jake Tapper didn't even give a reason for his crazy comparison. According to him, President Trump is just like Joe McCarthy because of something. I've been reading a lot about the 50s lately. And there was a period, Joe McCarthy started in the late 40s, his crusade of indecency and smears and lies. And President Trump and Joe McCarthy are very different historical figures, but there is something similar, said Tapper during an interview with Stephen Colbert. They say, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And when you read about that era, Joe McCarthy was doing indecent things and lying, for years and years, with Republican senators, and Democrats, not saying anything. And there were people like Senator Margaret Chase Smith of Maine, and others, who stood on the Senate floor and condemned it, said Tapper. But mostly, people were quiet, and history looks back at that time and says, boy, what a bunch of wuzzes. They were wrong. And I think when Senator Jeff Flake today said that, there's going to be a reckoning. People are going to look back at this era and say, what were you doing with it's not McCarthyism, but it's something else, all this indecency and all these lies? What did you during that time? Said Tapper. It's something I think about all the time as an interviewer, and as a broadcaster. It's important, there aren't two sides when it comes to the truth. There's one side, the truth, said Tapper. Rioters beware. Liberal protesters are not going to like what Jeff Sessions did seconds ago. Jeff Sessions just sent a clear message to the anti-fascist violent protesters at the event in Charlottesville. The Trump Department of Justice has now requested information about the users of the anti-Trump website called Disrupt20. The web host, DreamHost, says they will not comply with the request to hand over 1.3 million IP addresses of these anti-fascist, neo-socialists. The Disrupt J20 website helped organize the very violent mobs in DC during the inauguration. Jeff Sessions is working to keep his job. DreamHost is claiming that complying with the request will be going too far. They say it would be the equivalent of handing over 1.3 million visitor IP addresses, their information, email content and photos of the visitors to the website, says The Hill. That information could be used to identify any individuals who use this site to exercise and express political speech protected under the Constitution's First Amendment, DreamHost wrote in the blog post on Monday. That should be enough to set alarm bells off in anyone's mind. This is so false. The site is being used to recruit violent rioters and their destructive attacks on cities. Jeff Sessions is taking a stand and shutting down the violence that has erupted across America. Woo damn. These protesters are gonna get what's coming to them. Share this millions of times on social media so that these violent miscreants can go running home to their mother's basement in fear. They fought the law and the law is about to win.